pickup. For breakfast that's fast, not fast food. Panera, food as it should be.
At Capital One, you can open a new savings account in about 5 minutes and earn 5 times the national average. 5 minutes? That's less time than you spend arguing about how to pronounce GIF.
Wait, GIF or JIF?
Hard G. Less time than you spend trying to stick to your paleo diet.
Resist the carbs. Ooh, brownies.
No brownies. That's about 5 minutes to earn 5 times the national average savings rate. This is banking reimagined. Capital One, what's in your wallet?
Terms apply. Rate comparison based on FDIC national rate. Capital One NA, member FDIC.
1580 103.3 WPKY Coffee Talk is on the air. Morning conversations about things of interest to you. If you'd like to be a guest on Coffee Talk, just email us your information at WPKYonline@gmail.com. We're proud to call Caldwell County home. WPKY.
1580 103.3 WPKY. Tess and Ty and Coffee Talk on the air. And here's our buddy. We love Shane.
Well,
Good morning,
it's
Shane.
nice to be loved.
Oh, hey. It's nice to have a
I like you a whole
guy
bunch.
that'll teach us something.
I like you too, Ty.
Thank you. It's good to have you here.
Well, that just got uncomfortable really
Ah,
quick.
Shane Bogle is our extension agent for agriculture here in Caldwell County with the UK Extension Office on
Yes.
62 West. And good morning, sir. And weather's changing. We're into fall, but that means we still have lots of work to do with some of our plants and critters and pests.
You know, the other day I did see you post something about mice and things like that, too.
Yep.
So, see, he's doing things when he's not here, too. He's trying to help people out. He posted a whole thing about that.
There's no doubt.
It's always something to do. And it is, times are changing. The weather is feeling a little bit more like winter now.
Yeah.
And I have seen several folks with potted plants that have covered up on their porch to keep the frost off. Well, it's about time to bring them in for
Right.
the winter. Put them to bed. I think it looks like winter is here. We had a very short fall. I heard that was the #1 Halloween costume this year. Was fall.
I think it actually, it took like 2 days and it was over.
That's right.
I always know when this time's coming around because you walk in my mom and dad's bathroom and there's that big, huge garden tub that they don't use, but they store their plants there during the winter.
There you go.
Well, as we are bringing our plants inside for the year, we might have some unwanted guests that come in with those.
Uh-oh.
So, have you ever had fungus gnats in your house?
Well, I don't know.
Not that I'm aware of.
Well, it'll kind of remind you of a mosquito flying around, and they are very annoying. So fungus gnats are flies that utilize damp soil to lay their eggs in. And once they hatch, maggots will emerge and feed on fungi and organic matter in the soil medium of your plants.
Yuck.
So fungus gnats are very annoying, and sometimes they can be of levels enough to damage the plants that are in the pots. But most of the time, they're just an annoyance to the folks inside.
So they don't look like regular gnats. They look like, are they bigger?
They are a little bit bigger than a regular gnat and a little more pointed at the end. That's why they're mistaken for mosquitoes sometimes.
Are they mistaken for fruit flies too sometimes?
They are
That's
also
what-
can be mistaken
yeah.
for fruit flies as well.
So I think I have seen them then. They're not fruit flies. Fruit flies are a very distinctive look.
They
These
are.
things are still kind of flit around, and I think I know what I think I have had them.
So as we move past the first frost date, folks are starting to bring that in, and in a few days, folks might get a surprise. So they look damp, dark areas. So somebody like me that lives in the woods, got them outside naturally.
Yeah.
They're going to be around. So if we are bringing in potted plants, I don't bring potted plants in. They're dead long before they're ever going to come in the house.
That's my house right there.
But they can also be on old rotting wood or leaf piles and potted plants that's sitting outside and inadvertently coming in.
So when you bring in your firewood, you could be bringing some in.
It's possible if you have really damp, doty wood, they could be in that as well. So keeping firewood dry is a good thing there. So the fungus's life cycle it has a complete metamorphosis. Now, I'm not going to get into biology here, but they start off as eggs, which hatch into maggots, and they pupate before turning into adults. And adult females can lay up to 100 to 150 eggs.
Good gravy.
So, and they hatch within 5 to 7 days of laying those eggs. So after the larvae feed for a while down in there, 10 to 14 days, they begin to pupate, and the larvae will emerge, and they look like a white little worm, no legs, with a dark head. So most folks don't see that because that's going on
underneath, down below, yeah.
So what we're seeing is the outside evidence of them flying around.
That's just nasty.
So the fungus gnat adults are about 1/8 of an inch long, and they're dark gray to black. So yes, they kind of will remind you of the fruit fly. That kind of reminds you of a mosquito because they're long and narrow, and it looks like they have something at the end that could sting if it wanted to, but it does not. No, they are no harm to pets or people. They are just there to do their life cycle and die.
Just got a pointy tail.
They're just annoying.
Gnat larvae sometimes do damage roots of certain plants if the infestation is, enough. So when we talk about dealing with that, as we're bringing those plants in, consider using a monitoring tool to see if you have the fungus gnats. If you've kept it really wet and damp, some plants need a little drier environment, some need a little wetter environment. Well, the wetter it is, the more that these things like. So using a yellow sticky card staked in your plant, maybe to a toothpick or to a pencil or something in, the adults will fly and stick to. They're going to be attracted to the yellow. So they're going to fly.
Like a sticky note?
Like a sticky note, but something a little bit stickier.
Okay.
And I can't think of the...
You could put double-sided tape on that sticky note.
Well, you might could, or a glue of some kind, but the yellow is what does the attracting.
Yellow does the attracting.
So you will see them within a day or two. If you're seeing some stick to that, you might have an infestation. So check them. Another way... if you're not seeing the outward appearance, the flying around, you could still have those maggots down in the soil. If you cut a small piece of potato, about 1/4 of an inch of a potato, lay it on your soil medium. Before that gets good and dry, turn it over. And if there is some larvae stuck feeding to the bottom of that potato, you know that you're going to have some unwanted guests flying around your house in about 5 to 7 days.
That actually sounds fun for some reason to me, to put a little piece of potato in there and see if a larva is sticking to it.
So if you do find these fungus gnats and the pupa and the larva in there are several methods to control that. Number one is changing your soil medium. Some plants we can do that to, some we can't. Some of our root-bound plants that are just filling that pot up, it's not going to do much to get that out of there. Number two, you can run a fan over and dry that out really good. They're not going to live very long if it's dry. So if a plant can withstand few days of dry weather, dry that soil out before you bring it in. Dry those plants out before you bring them inside. Yep. And, if you get to that, it's a plant that has to stay moist, and you can't change that soil medium. We can mix a 9-part water, 1-part bleach solution, and soak that soil around that plant. That is not 100% kosher, because some plants are not going to like that little bit of bleach.
Yeah.
But a little bleach will definitely fry these guys. So, the recommendation is try it on a plant you don't care much for first to see how it...
to make sure the plant might not respond to that bleach. I could kind of want to be a professional fungus gnat fighter. Kind of like a bullfighter with a red, they got the red cape. I'm going to get my little yellow, I'm going to get my little yellow stake, and I'm going to kind of, wouldn't that be cool? Say Olay as the larvae come by,
I'm not sure how to respond to that.
As soon as you were talking about that, I was like, man, how cool would be that?
Well, and of course, these days, there is an organic approach to monitoring and getting rid of these things. There are BT products available that are safe and organic, and it's called Natrol, Gnatrol. And it will take some time and effort, but if one or two of these different solutions, you should not have that fungus gnat problem.
Would any of these work on regular gnats that get on like vegetables and things like that? Would any of these remedies work with that too?
The problem with that is these are going to be contained pretty much the larvae, what you're wanting to get rid of.
In the soil,
adults flying around, your sticky traps, that's just
good hand.
Fly swatter, whatever. But your fruit flies and some of your other gnats don't necessarily have a starting point that you can identify. We do not want to spray anything if we can help it. And this is not something, this BT thing is not something you want to spray your fruit with. But
this life cycle here is perfect for that those kind of remedies.
They can, and see, there can be like 3 or 4 different overlapping life cycles of these things. So you might be seeing them flying around.
Flea was hard to get a hold of.
Well, it can be, and some folks do not have trouble with this, but I do get a few calls about it every year, and
these little black things are flying around.
Yep.
And
a lot of people probably think they are either a mosquito or a gnat, and they just don't realize what they are.
I know I've seen them and not really know exactly what they are, and so that's interesting. What a great thing to bring up today.
I've probably fussed it. Where are all these gnats? I mean, I just think they're gnats.
So now we can say, oh, that's a fungus gnat.
I'm going to call you.
Oh, I'm going to come over and fight it. I'm going to get my little yellow cape and see if I can.
Well, as always, if you do not know and you catch a few, put them in something that don't squish them and don't put tape on them. That is something that I cannot deal with. If somebody has a small insect, and we have this almost weekly, come into the office that, I have it, and it's stuck to a piece of tape on a piece of paper or something.
That does sound like
you
what something I
cannot
do.
take that off and get that under a microscope.
To see what it is.
Send that off if we can't identify it, to send it anywhere. So if it's a hard-shelled bug of some kind, some just regular rubbing alcohol in a pill bottle or a small bottle to keep that preserved. If it is just something like this, just loose in a dry container. Don't wrap it in a napkin. Don't put water in it or anything. That way we can pull it out and get that under a microscope.
Get it identified.
Kind of like a tick. Back in the summer, that was one of those things. There's so many different species of ticks and that sort of thing.
One of the last ones that I've
those.
got was in the fall was a deer tick infestation. Had some pets coming in and out of the house, and I had a piece of paper with about 5 stuck to a piece of tape. So not much we can do, because you're going to tear them all to pieces to try to get them off. And so tape, bad. Do not use tape if you want that identified. Put it in a container and get it to me whole.
I'll tell you, during this time of year, things like we were just fussing the other day about box elder bugs.
Yeah.
And it's just it seems to be that time of year.
It is that time of year, and ladybugs, you're going to be seeing those emerging. Flies, I would rather have just about anything in my house than those big fat flies flying around, ricocheting off of everything.
Well, hey, the ladybug mothership lives at my in my. I'm telling you, my barn. Well, I was just talking to him the other day about them being in the fuse box out in the barn. You open that up, and I guess it's because it's cold and they're trying to get warm.
Yes, and they're going to be on the side that the sun's hitting, so they can stay warm. And you will this time of year even see box elder bugs and ladybugs.
And guess what likes to feed on them?
Thing.
Red wasps.
Yes. Well, no, that's true. And that's one of those things that I'm definitely afraid of and allergic to is a red wasp.
The box elder bug around here seems to have a cycle. You will be some time period go by that I do not get a single one identified. And then you get the ones that come in that folks think it's the kissing bug. There is a little bit of a resemblance between
We were just talking about that.
He was hiding in the corner the other morning.
No, I just said, I hope that's not one of those kissing bugs.
Well, then I was like, what's a kissing bug?
They're similar.
They are very similar. I can tell the difference very easily. And
the elongated head, isn't it? Yep.
But the kissing bug used to not be in Kentucky, but it has been found in just about every county now and in the state. So,
carries Chagas.
And if you're in the woods, homes that are close to the woods like mine, we found one. We were one of the first reports.
Did you find one, really?
Yes, about 5 years ago.
I've seen them in my house when I lived in the country.
But if you've got critters around, it's coming out of the woods, you get coons and possums
Bogle
and stuff, so it is possible. So if you do see something that resembles that, if you wanted ID, bring that in. We can definitely do that. But 9 times out of 10, it's the box elder bug that gets misidentified as the kissing bug.
Well, I will tell you, these
Told
things, they are...
I said, that's not... They look alike. They got the red on the wings.
Well, see, first of all, he says, those look just like a kissing bug. And I said, what's a kissing bug? Well, you can die from a kissing bug. And then I'm like, oh, my... Is that what? And I get freaked out about bugs in general. I just do. So then he gets me on the kissing bug thing. Then he's like, yeah, they're definitely not kissing bugs. And then I'm like, why did you scare me in the first place?
And then I went into the detail, because I read about them, about how you can be, they carry the disease and how it works. And that's not very a fun thing to talk about.
He knows that I'm a little bit leery of bugs in general. So he has fun with it.
But we won't talk about kissing bugs today. We are fighting fungus gnats. So as
always,
awesome.
if anything needs to be identified or if there's questions, call the Extension Office 365-2787.
So we could have just brought that bug up there as long as it wasn't on tape, and you could have said that's not a kissing bug.
Yep.
Fantastic information, always. And our Extension Office is it's a wealth of information, whether you're talking food labels, whether you're talking gardening, whether you're talking winterizing. It's all research-based, and our agents out there are ready, willing, and able to help you. Even the office staff as well is helpful. If you can't find an agent right away, they will get back to you. It's located on 62 West. Give them a call, 365-2787, and they'd be glad to help out.
Hey, he's always answered the phone when I've called, which is a miracle, because I'm not sure that I'd always answer the phone if I called.
Thank you, Shane Bogle, our agent for agriculture at the UK Extension Office. Again, 62 West. Give him a call if you have any questions about what you heard today here on WPKY, or any question. 365-2787. Thank you, sir.
Thanks.
Thank you.
The holidays, time to enjoy with those you love. If you're thinking about new flooring in your home before the holidays, now's the time to stop in at Perry's Floors and More and let them help you find the perfect flooring that will not only add warmth and style to any room in your home, but also flooring that will stand up to the wear and spills of everyday life. Whichever floor you choose will be backed by reputable manufacturers and installed with expert care. See Bill and Lucy at Perry's Floors and More, 127 West Market, Princeton. Call 270-365-9869.
This is Mallory Hancock Lawrence, and we love our Caldwell and Lyon County friends. We invite you to come to Cada's anytime you can to shop with us. We're making it even easier for you. Whether you work in Cada's or just come to town for a visit, stop in and shop with us. But if you're in a hurry, you can pre-order your groceries at hancocksneighborhoodmarket.com. It's so easy and convenient. Of course, we want to see your smiling face anytime we can, but if you're in a hurry, hancocksneighborhoodmarket.com is the way to go. Hancock's Neighborhood Market, Cada's.
Hey guys, Heidi with Capitol Cinemas, your local Princeton movie theater with your weekday lineup. In Cinema 1, Maleficent, Mistress of Evil, rated PG. Shows Monday through Thursday at 6:30. Maleficent will end Thursday. In Cinema 2, Terminator Dark Fate, rated R. Shows Monday through Thursday at 6:30. And in Cinema 3, Rambo, rated R. Shows Monday through Thursday at 6:30. Call during showtime hours at 270-365-0200 or visit us at capitalcinemas.net. Thanks for listening. See you at the show.
Shop local, buy local, save big deals.
Imagine if there were a place you could go to buy gift certificates to some of the best businesses in town. Now, imagine all those great gift certificates priced 30, 35, 40%, and at times over 60% or more off retail every day of the week. The Loyal Listener Big Deal Store is online and waiting for you to shop and buy gift certificates to local businesses. Go to WPKYonline.com.
Panera has new breakfast wraps. And yeah, they're an easy on-the-go start to your day. But these are no microwave and go wraps. These are slow-smoked Chipotle chicken, egg, and avocado go-getters. They're maple bacon, eggy smoked Gouda bundles of portable bliss. And they all pair perfectly with our new cold brews. All this can be yours in an instant with rapid pickup. For breakfast that's fast, not fast food. Panera, food as it should be.
At Capital One, you can open a new savings account in about 5 minutes and earn 5 times the national average. 5 minutes? That's less time than you spend arguing about how to pronounce GIF.
Wait, GIF or GIF?
Hard G. Less time than you spend trying to stick to your paleo diet.
Resist the carbs. Ooh, brownies.
No brownies. That's about 5 minutes to earn 5 times the national average savings rate. This is banking reimagined. Capital One, what's in your wallet?
Terms apply. Rate comparison based on FDIC national rate. Capital One NA, member FDIC.
Here's your WPKY Weather Edge Weather Center forecast.
Well, it's a beautiful day in the neighborhood this morning. It's gorgeous. Blue skies and not too bad. I mean, it's a little chilly out there, but not too bad. This afternoon's when the rain's going to come in. I'm starting to see some white fluffy clouds moving in that we didn't have earlier, but sure is gorgeous this morning. High is 60 tonight. Showers continue overnight. Low 47 tomorrow. Showers early with temps falling to about 37 by 5 p.m. Now, football Friday, mostly sunny, high 41. Temps in the 30s by kickoff time at Tiger Stadium. Saturday, sunny, high 48. 38 at 1580, 103.3 WPKY.
Your WPKY Weather Edge Weather Center forecast is brought to you by Black Patch Grill.
Fall is the beginning of flu season. Protect yourself with a flu vaccine at the Health First Community Health Center. It is your best shot at stopping the flu from getting to you. With same-day appointments and walk-ins welcome, they make it easy to arm yourself against infection. Contact the Health First Community Health Center office toll-free at 1-877-667-7017 or visit one of their 7 locations for all your healthcare needs. At Health First, your health is our first concern. That's Health First Community Health Center.
For a delicious meal, try Kay's Kitchen in Princeton. They have great home cooking, just like Mom and Grandma used to do. Enjoy cook-to-order breakfast every day, all day. Daily lunch specials include favorites like open-faced roast beef, grilled chicken tenderloins, country fried steak, smoked pork chops, and catfish and shrimp on Fridays. All your favorite veggies, too. And don't forget Kay's homemade desserts. Open Monday through Thursday, 5 to 2, Friday, 5 a.m. to 8 p.m., and Saturday, 5:30 to 11. Kay's Kitchen, 501 North Jefferson Street, Princeton, 1 block from the courthouse.
1580 103.3 WPKY. Tess and Ty and Coffee Talk at 8:31. And Ty, we have a young man in here that I bet has got more guts than I do.
I guarantee he's probably got more guts than I have, because we have Cale Goodwin and his mom Tammy here, and Cale is a micro sprint racer. Did I get that right?
Yes, sir.
All right. Well,
Now, see, I'm used to rooting him on, but it's at the football games, right?
Yeah.
But hey, you've got like this secret alternative world, little Superman. Where what do you do?
Well, we get to the races. We kind of unload everything. We just set it up and then just drive the car.
But it's racing, right?
Yeah.
On a dirt track.
Yes, ma'am.
And how fast are these? I know they're called micro racers, so I know that gives a lot of people a lot of comfort. However, how fast do these things go?
Depends on the track. Bigger tracks, it'll hit 75, and he usually hits about 60, 65 every weekend at the smaller tracks.
And these are on dirt tracks. Mm-hmm. And I mean, these guys slide around the corners. It's like a Duke Boy moment. But like, how many laps do they do?
20. Usually
20
a feature's
laps?
20, and depends at the racetrack, but a heat race usually 12, and a trophy dash usually 6.
Wow.
I'd be putt-putting it at 5 miles an hour.
I bet, Cale, you're flooring that thing, aren't you?
Yes, sir.
Wide open. Well, what was your inspiration to start doing this?
Well, my dad always did it, and then I was always liking it from the start, so when I got to start, I was real happy, and we just moved up.
And it's something cool that you and Dad can do together. You're probably working on your micro sprint racer all the time, working on its engine and getting it fine-tuned and everything like that. That's got to be pretty fun.
It is.
He's a 4th generation race car driver in our family.
Wow.
That is fantastic. And Cale is a 7th grader at Caldwell County Middle School. And
I'll tell you what I like about it, though.
Yeah.
We were talking about it the other day. You've got the normal sports like football. You've got basketball and baseball and volleyball and I don't want to leave the girls out because they race too. But I love this because this is different. I want to remind everyone, just because we don't hear a lot about some of it, we've got some kids that are extraordinarily talented.
Yes.
That are more than likely really going to go somewhere with some of these things. And I mean, the world is your oyster. I mean, where would you like to go from here? What's the goal? Are you Dale Earnhardt? Is that what the goal is?
No, I want to win the Chili Bowl.
Oh,
well,
tell everybody
tell
what
us
that
about
is.
the Chili Bowl.
They race midgets for a week, and you have to be 16 to race it. It's like
The Daytona 500 of midget racing.
Yeah, Kyle Larson said he would rather win a Chili Bowl than a Daytona 500.
Wow.
Now, tell us a little bit about Kyle Larson. Is he one of the main?
He races midgets he's usually teamed with Keith Coons Racing and stuff, and he races NASCARs and all. So,
well, how do you split your time between racing?
Football
I wish you
and
could
wrestling.
see the look on her face. How do you split your time? Because I mean, are you wrestling this year?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how you do it, because I know like on Saturdays, full days a lot of times.
Yes.
You'll start at 8:00 in the morning, and that match isn't over till late.
It's all day. Yeah.
When do you practice? Do you ever get? I mean, how do you juggle? Are you good at juggling?
Usually racing is from April till November, and usually when it gets toward November, it's Sunday races. So the rule at the house is you have to play 2 school sports because you have to learn how to be a team player, and that's how you learn.
Oh yeah, because this is individual, isn't it?
And he does wrestling and football.
Yep. And
So how's wrestling shaping up for you this year? Because that's a season that just started, right?
Yes, Mom. It's doing good. We didn't go to the first tournament because we went racing last Saturday, and then this weekend we got a tournament Saturday, and then Sunday we're going racing. So.
Well, I'm pretty sure I know, Ty, why he has a smile on his face when he mentioned the tournament. So, or the race rather. So what happened at that race?
Yeah.
We won in the sportsman class, and then in the outlaw class we got 6th.
The outlaw class.
He's not racing with little kids anymore. He's racing with the grown men now.
Showing them what for. I like that.
Yes.
How does that make Mom feel?
I raced go-karts for 20-some years, so I wasn't too nervous when he was in the littler car. That big car with that big motor, it's a little nervous sometimes, but he handles it well. He does good. He doesn't make silly mistakes. It's just
he's consistent.
He's really
focused.
Yes, and a lot of the older guys, they don't like these younger kids racing with them, but he has earned so much respect from the older guys because he doesn't go out there and do stupid things, and he runs his line, and he knows, and he does a really good job. He's got a lot of old friends at the racetrack. His best friends are in their 30s.
Wow.
Well, how do you know? I mean, when do you look at them and say, "Oh yeah, he's going to race"? I mean, at what point? Don't get me wrong. As the mom, I know when I could see, when CJ had enough confidence to really do football. When they really get that. Okay, now that's what we're going to do. That he's serious about it. When did that happen?
About 2, because
wow.
When he was a little fella, he had to sleep with Matchbox cars in between his fingers. Most kids had blankets. He had Matchbox cars. And if he would wake up in the middle of the night, upset or something, you couldn't just go get another race car. You had to strip the bed and find the ones. And he did that. That was his security. And then when he was 4, they put him on a 54-wheeler, had to put blocks under his feet because his feet didn't touch the bottom.
Oh my goodness.
And he raced, and that was it.
So how fast do you mow the yard? That's what I want to know. I got a yard you can practice on.
Well, I want to know how he got the name. I guess it's Bumpin' Bubba. Tell me about Bumpin' Bubba.
Well, ever since I was little, people started calling me Bubba, and then when I first started racing, I was kind of everywhere, so it kind of just started to come on.
You did a little bumping and rubbing out there, so to speak? Yeah?
You know what they say? They say rubbing's racing, right?
Yes.
Is that true?
Yes.
You got to get some of the other guys' paint on there, don't you?
Yes, sir.
And what about green? Is green, does that mean something to you? Because evidently his car is green. Or what am I saying? Am I saying it the wrong? It's not a car.
It's a sprint car.
Is it a sprint car? Okay, I want to make sure I said that right. But green, right?
Yes, ma'am. It's one of our main sponsor, Kentucky Hemp Works, is green and all that. So
hey,
you got some other sponsors as well?
Yes, sir. We sponsored Pure Max Racing Oil, Prickly Peach Boutique, Goodwin Equipment Repair, Impco,
and Night Properties.
Awesome. So it takes those fine sponsors to get you up and rolling and keeping you on the track.
What's 85 mean?
Well, Jake Lewis's dad kind of helped my dad get going with his motorcycle racing, so he was number 85. So then my dad took 85, and then that's where I got it.
I knew there was something behind that number. There had to be.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Well, congratulations to you, because I will tell you that not only do you carry 2 sports, and you do it well, by the way, but now you race as well. And you race with the big boys. And we got straight A's at the same time. Yep. So, see, that's one of those things. I love to pat these kids on the back when they're doing it the right way. And you pay attention in school, and you're doing really well. I mean, you need to be rewarded for that and said, what a great job.
Well, we all know as soon as the grades fall, then you don't get to do all the stuff.
That's right.
So, you learn those valuable lessons that you can put forth in the classroom on the track, on the sporting teams, and implement those into as you go further into life too. So congratulations to you, young man.
He has to work on the car. When we get to the races, a lot of the other kids will go off and they'll go play football or whatever. he has to unload the car. He has to work on his car because it's his car. And he has to work on it. And we got to go to the races this year, just me and him by ourselves.
Aww.
So I got to play crew chief.
Wow.
And we actually did pretty good, didn't we? The car was hooked up better than it'd been all year long. So.
Well, how about that you have a mom that'll do that with you, though? How cool is that?
It's pretty cool.
Where can we go see you race? How far? Where do we race around here? We can go check it out.
Marion, Illinois is where our home track, and then Mount Vernon, Illinois.
Mm-hmm.
But he'll be racing in Oklahoma, Pennsylvania. He races in Indiana. The closest one, though, is Marion, Illinois. It's a long drive, but it's worth the drive.
Well, I'll tell you, that's a nice track up there. I used to live in Heron, which is right next door. Yes. And that's a really nice track up there.
The elite. It is one of the best micro sprint racing tracks. It's just wonderful.
Are there other kids, right here in our neighborhood or neck of the woods that are doing it?
His sister does it every once in a while, just for fun. But no, not on the one that races sprint cars.
So if you've got a kid or a mom, or say this kid, he won't get off the go-kart, or he just he loves to race that lawnmower around. Okay, what do you do? I mean, where do they start? How do they, can they call somebody? Where does it go?
Yeah, get a good chassis. That's the best thing. Get a good, safe chassis. And they're not cheap, but it's their bodies. And make sure you have all the proper equipment, and you just take it to the racetrack and
let her rip.
Yep.
That's fantastic.
Oh, I love that.
Let the
Thank
big dog
you so
eat, as they say. See, that was about my speed. I had the lawnmower I fixed up when I was a kid, and I named it Yabba Dabba Doo, and it went about a mile per hour if I got it running. But man, you've come a long way from my old Yabba Dabba Doo. We were talking
just a minute ago, and I said, I used to do. I'm going to tattle on myself, and when I was younger, I used to do drag racing.
Oh.
But I will tell you, it was on a track, Ty. There was no blue lights involved. Let me just say that. There was a pro tree, but no blue lights. But it wasn't on a dirt track. And I'll tell you, kid, that takes some guts. Mm-hmm. It really does. And you go flying around those corners and sliding, and it takes guts for Mama to watch it too.
Yeah.
But I will tell you, kudos to you, because that takes some guts.
Thank you.
And good luck moving forward. And we'll be watching.
Thank you.
Bubba, good one.
I just
Bumping Bubba.
I want to be on the car.
I'm sure for a few $1 bills, I might put you on there.
Hey, stick around. I see somebody else walking through the door. Thank you so much for being here. Of course, wrestling. You've got a fundraiser right now.
No, we're done with our fundraiser, but this Saturday they're at Trigg County, and they could use some stand support. So if y'all aren't doing anything this Sunday or Saturday, Trigg County High School, come watch these middle school wrestlers.
All right.
Well, thanks so much, and kudos to you. 8:44, stick around. Robert Ward's in the house. We'll see him in a minute. Coffee Talk in 1580, 103.3 WPKY.
Here's your WPKY Weather Edge Weather Center forecast.
Well, it's going to be gorgeous today. Absolutely gorgeous. Until this afternoon when it rains. High is 60 tonight. Showers continue overnight. Low 47. Tomorrow showers early. Temps falling to around 37 by 5 p.m. Of course, football Friday, mostly sunny. High 41. Temps in the 30s by kickoff time at Tiger Stadium. And then on Saturday, sunny. High 48. It is all at 41 at 1580, 103.3 WPKY.
This weather update brought to you by The Cat's Den on Farmersville Road, Princeton. Food cooked to order and plate lunch specials on Sunday. You won't leave hungry.
Did you know that 9 out of 10 homes in the U.S. are under-insulated? Sealing air leaks around your home and adding insulation are two of the most cost-effective ways to improve energy efficiency and comfort in your home. By tackling both projects, you can maximize your comfort and save up to 10% on your annual energy bills. Brought to you by your Princeton Electric Plant Board. Hometown Energy, working for you.
If this community is as important to you as it is to us, we invite you to join us weekdays for our WPKY local newscast at 6:30, 7:30, noon, and 5. 20 newscasts a week means we're committed to keeping you informed on local events. You can also find news when you want it at WPKYonline.com. Thanks for listening to 1580, 103.3 WPKY.
Hey, 1580, 103.3 WPKY, 846 with Tess and Ty and Robert Ward.
Good morning.
Good morning, y'all.
I love the way he laughs when we say his name.
Well, I just kind of embarrassing to be on the radio. I'm not good at it like y'all
You're
are.
like one of us now.
Yeah,
you belong
man.
on this show now.
Well, sometimes I just wonder if you just don't care who you let on here when you let me on all the time.
Hey, we love you. You've always got something going on.
Well, yes, ma'am. We've always got something going on, and I first want to say I do appreciate y'all letting me get on and advertise these things that we're doing and trying to do, and so I appreciate y'all.
We usually have a little
you.
fun when you come in. So.
I'm going to do that almost no matter where I'm at.
It's completely selfish, I assure you.
well, that's okay because I'm going to have fun no matter where I am.
So what you got going?
Well, this coming Saturday afternoon at 2:00, we're going to have a couple of compatriot grave markings, which these are members of the Sons of American Revolution. One of them is a member at Katie's at Stephen Trigg chapter, and would have been a member of ours too if he would have been here when we formed. And then the other one was a member of the Captain William Prince chapter, and we're going to mark both their graves. They're buried in Meeks Cemetery, and that's just right out here off Farmersville Road. Mm-hmm. Easy to get to. We're going to be placing a stone probably this afternoon. It's just a small one like we do, and we'll have a kind of a memorial service for each one of them. One of them is Stice Goodwin, and he was a member at the Stephen Trigg chapter, and the other is Ken Gilkey. Now Ken was a dual member. He was a member of the Ohio Valley up in Newburgh, Indiana, and he was from here, and he always wanted us to have one here. And when we got one started, as soon as he heard we were doing it, he called. He said, "I got to be a charter member of this." And bless his heart, we managed to get formed and get in there, and then as things happened, Ken passed away. So he was buried here. He was they were both fine fellows. I knew them both pretty well, and anyway, we're just going to kind of memorialize them. SAR. We go around marking patriots' graves, the guys who were in the original American Revolution, and then when you become a member, then they will put a little stone up for you when you pass away. And somebody asked me, said, "Well, why do you all do this?" And I said, "Well, it is a way to remember our ancestors for one thing, and then it's a way we get remembered too." And so anyway, that's what we're going to be doing. And I think it's an interesting service. There will be fellows dressed in period outfits. They'll be firing 3 volleys. We do what's called a floral tribute, which we have wreaths. The different chapters have a wreath, and they will be put up there and presented. And we will fold a flag. And while we're folding the flag, someone will read what each fold means. Each fold means something. And if you can Google it if you want to. I would rather you came to Meeks Cemetery and seen it.
See it, yeah.
And because there's nothing like seeing it firsthand. We're hoping for better weather. We almost got rained out when we did William Prince and compatriot Stonebreaker at Cedar Hill. Hoping for better weather this time. Maybe a little cool, but for us dressed as the way we are, that makes it pretty good sometimes.
Got those wool suits on.
There's a little bit of wool involved, but some of it's not. But there's still sometimes warmer clothes than we're used to wearing now. So that's what we're going to be doing. And
and it's kind of fitting right here before Veterans Day as well.
That was exactly the reason that we picked the day we picked. We thought these are a couple of veterans. We need to do. Stice was in the Navy in World War II. Ken was in the Army in Vietnam. And so that's exactly the reason we picked that. We didn't want to pick Veterans Day because there's already some good things going on. And I will invite everybody, and I don't know, I guess they're going to do it Monday. I'll be there. I invite anybody and everybody. Should be a crowd by rights down to the courthouse to remember our veterans. And it usually takes place at 11 o'clock or maybe 11 minutes after 11 o'clock. You could check the paper, call the VFW if you need any more information. I'm sure they would be glad to answer any questions that you might have on that. People, we owe our veterans everything. We wouldn't be where we are. I wouldn't be sitting here talking to y'all today. Y'all wouldn't be doing what you're doing today if it weren't for people like this that stood up and did what had to be done. And I admire them greatly for that. And I don't know why anybody wouldn't, although there are a few people, and everybody's got their own opinion, which they're entitled to because of people like this. They're entitled to this opinion, and that's okay. But I think we still owe them, and I think we'll always owe them. And I think that I go to these things, Memorial Day, I go on Veterans Day, and I don't know why there's not more people there. I can't figure it out. I mean, it's just beyond me.
Right.
And my dad was an old World War II guy, and I learned to respect veterans at an early age, and that's a lesson that I kind of half learned it on my own, but I also watched these old guys, and he was friends with several of them, and I know who they are. Sadly, most of them have gone on, and some of them were kind of local legends around here. Type Man Merrick, for one. I mean, but him and Dad were good friends. As a matter of fact, until the day Dad died, he carried a list in his billfold of the people who left Princeton to go be examined, and Type Man Merrick was one of them. And I have the list at home, and I should have probably bought it and read it. But anyway, but we owe these guys, and we should be there.
There's several, and I don't know if people realize, at least one of them, probably some don't. Of course, we just had the election yesterday. And in my mind, that is, again, talk about being able to go and vote. That, yes. Hey, right there, that is proof that, these guys lived and died and fought for that privilege that we had yesterday. And then coming up on the 10th, of course, is the Marine Corps birthday. So, that's another one. Of course, I live with a, I've got a retired Marine in my house, and that's probably.
They never retire.
No, they do not. And, they're my best friend as well is a Marine, God bless her. And I think about that a lot. And then, a couple of days later, of course, you have Veterans Day. So, then that covers, of course, my dad was in the Army. I've got an uncle that was in the Navy. But during different war times, and Ty and I were talking just the other day about how we're losing some of those people. And I guarantee you there's some of those that we're losing that have never had anybody to say thank you.
Exactly. And, well, that's another reason that, I'd go back to the original thing of being here. That's another reason we like to commemorate these people who have, they've led the way. We should follow. And you're right, the election was yesterday. It may not have worked out like everybody wanted it to, and that's okay too. At least we were free to express our opinion.
God bless him. Jim Bug was in here the other day, and he was talking about that, And so, I mean, that's, I guess, on all of our minds, kind of on the forefront of our minds a little, and it should be.
It should be constantly there. I mean, this is not something that we should ever stop in the back of our mind thinking about. These guys paid a price. Some of them never came home. Some of them that came home were never the same as when they left. And I just think that we as citizens of the United States owe these people. And I'm not one of them that served. I always say I won the Vietnam lottery. That was the year that first year they drew to see if you would be drafted. Well, that's the only lottery I ever won, I reckon, but my number was so high I wasn't going to have to go. And
that was probably the one that you'd have wanted to win.
If you had to win one, I think that would be the good one. But anyway, I just, there were other reasons for way things were going in my life at the time that I just didn't go. My dad told me, he said, I'm glad you're not going to have to. But he said, but the day before they drawed for the lottery, he said, "You ain't going to Canada." And I said, "Well, I know that." I said, I've got no doubt about that. But if my number's low enough, I'm going to go join. He said, "That's what I want you to do." And he would have never have said that if and he knew he would know kind of what I would be getting into. And so anyway, it wasn't in my life for me to have to go and do that, but I still doesn't keep me from admiring these people that have. And I think
my dad was drafted.
And that's Dad was drafted into World War II, and so anyway, he just always, he always had a soft spot in the place for in his heart for veterans, and him being one also. And I know for sure that he saw things that he never forgot. I never will forget, he called me one morning. He said, "Are you as tired as I am today?" And I said, "Well, I don't reckon I'm any tireder than normal." And he said, "Well, you and me, we fought Germans all last night." And so, he's seen things that he didn't never forget. Now, Dad was up in his 70s when he called me that day, and he didn't die until in his 80s. And it's just... That kind of thing makes me know that these people carry these memories, some scars back from where they've been, and they deserve our honor. And that's why the Sons of American Revolution does what it does. That's why the Sons of Confederate Veterans does what it does. That's why Sons of the Union Veterans do what they do. We want to remember the soldiers and the fact that they did something that not everybody has to do or gets to do, depending on which way you want to look at it.
I think I love the get-togethers that they have, and I think it's so important for some of the organizations where they can actually come together and see each other and talk about it, because they'll talk about things with each other that maybe they're not comfortable enough to talk to someone else about, and that I think that's so important that we keep those places open for them to be able to do that.
Oh, absolutely. I know, as I was growing up, I would ask Dad. He would never say. He didn't have much to say about it at all. As he grew older, I grew older, I learned to keep my mouth shut. He started talking, I'd find out a whole lot more than if I asked him stuff. And so he told me a little bit. Of course, there's no way that I could have ever known everything, because he just wasn't going to answer questions about it. And he just said, "Well, they were just kids." And I said, "Well, Dad, you was 18 years old, 19 years old yourself. You were just a kid."
Well, and I think in their minds, though, a lot of times, Robert, when they go over there, they do that so that you don't have to know what's going on over there. So when they do come back, they don't want to tell you about it, because the whole reason of going was to shield you from it in the first place.
Well, that's what our military does,
right.
All branches. And so can't take nothing away from any of them. They served, they did what had to be done, and we're free because of it. So anyway, so we kind of drifted from what I was gonna, what I came here to do, but I got that done, and I knew it would be very quick, and so that's what we'd like to see. Everybody that can come to Meek Cemetery. It's going to start at 2:00. We'll start at Stice's grave. It's going to be up on the hill, the furthest in the cemetery, and then Ken's is about halfway back down. We'll do some of the ceremony there, and then we'll go down to Ken's gravesite and do a little bit more there.
And that's this coming Saturday.
This coming Saturday. Is it the 8th or 9th? I don't know.
9th.
9th, okay. It's the 9th, and it's at 2:00 in the afternoon.
At Meek Cemetery.
Now, some of us will be, you'll see some flags and some signs. If you're coming into town or leaving town, you go towards Marion, Highway 91, turn right onto the Farmersville Road, and you don't go very far, and you're going to turn right again. And Meek Cemetery's up there on the right-hand side. There will be signs and flags out.
Beautiful and a neat ceremony.
Well, I hope so, and I hope our weather's good.
And a way to honor those guys again. So wonderful way to do that.
Well,
that's for Veterans Day.
It's kind of what we do, and you were right a while ago when you said that about when those guys get together, they can tell each other things because they've been there and done that. The rest of us would never understand.
That's right.
So.
Well, thank you for coming in.
Well, thank y'all for putting up with me again today. I'll kind of report on our 1770s project on the 4-H. We're having a meeting tomorrow afternoon over at Marion. The Crittenden County 4-H owns a shooting range over there. Somebody donated it to them, and so they've got a building, and even if it rains, we can get in there and do a few things. So that's the reason I had to leave my phone outside. They're letting me know who's coming and who ain't, and so that's working along pretty good. We're getting started slow, but we're getting started, and the kids have made a couple of things. We had a blacksmith in last time we had a meeting back in October. No, it wasn't October, it was September. And anyway, he came in and he helped us make vent picks for the weapons. And so the kids enjoyed listening to that. He gave us a good lesson on the kind of hammers they use, and he had an anvil, and all the kids got to make their own. And so
are they making black powder rifles eventually to shoot, or are they
well,
just doing parts?
I don't know if we'll get that far or not. Those things are expensive,
right.
But hopefully, I mean, there's kits out there, and we did talk about that, but sometimes it takes longer to do than we've got. But that's down the road a ways. We're just we're kind of making small parts type things, and I think before long we're going to be making a box for each guy, or they're going to be making their own. We just kind of watch them, let them do it. And I know the boys from Crittenden County, they're a little more advanced. They've been going a little longer than we have. And they made what's called a patch knife. And that was whenever you loaded a muzzle loader, you put the ball in a piece of material and you cut the patch off. Mm-hmm. Well, a couple of them went, or maybe all of them, went to the state fair with their knives as some of the projects and done pretty well with them. So
wow.
Awesome. Hopefully we can get our guys catch up and let them do that too. So
that's fantastic.
I think they enjoy it. They sure seem like they do. Of course, anytime you put a boy and a gun together, most of the time it's one of those things you either like it or you don't. And I've never seen too many boys.
What are the age groups for that, Robert?
Oh, well, they're middle schoolers.
Middle schoolers?
It's when we try to start them out, but now we'll take on up through high school.
And do they need to contact? We need to contact you?
They can contact me if they need to, or Rhonda at 4-H, and she'll put us all together. But we're meeting tomorrow afternoon.
Now, is it girls too, or just boys?
We'll take girls too, and
I had to ask.
And that's okay. I'm glad you did. Now the girls, the ones that come to the events that we go and do, and none of our boys have been to one yet, unless they went as a spectator or something. But the girls generally do lady things like help cook and this kind of thing. So there's lessons for everybody on everything. But we don't turn anybody away. I want everybody to participate because I want them to be interested in history.
Right.
And this is a way to do that. And so anyway, in one of these days, we're going to all work on our genealogy. If you don't know don't know where you come from, how can you know where you're going? But anyway, and then, of course, that's a selfish thing with me because if they're really interested, they might join Sons of American Revolution.
There you go.
And so it's kind of a means to an end. But it's also a project that the kids can get into and maybe find out more about their ancestors and that kind of thing. So anyway, I just want you to come to Meek Cemetery at 2 o'clock on Saturday afternoon, and hopefully there'll be a little history lesson there for you. If you've never seen a flag folded or heard what each fold means, you'll learn it right there. And we just invite everybody out.
Oh, we sure thank you for coming in this morning
thank
and
y'all,
telling us about it. And again, we think it's a great thing that you guys are doing, and we appreciate that all that you do for the community and keeping the memories and the history alive for everybody.
I'm just doing what I think is the right thing to do. I just wished I had more people to help me do it.
Hey, you never know. We may drum some up for you.
You never know. And that's the purpose and the reason I always try to come out here and let you guys know and y'all get it on the air, because we never know, who hears this and might, well, that might be for me. And hey, and if you come out and you see something you like, you want to do this, fine. But if you don't, it's okay. You're still hopefully going to learn something.
You never know. We might just ring a bell or you never
that's
know.
Right. Yeah,
Hey,
might ring a bell. That's exactly right.
It is 9:05 with Tess and Ty,
Like
of course, Robert Ward. And
time.
hey, stick around. We're going to have your full forecast and let you know when the really cold temps and the rain are going to move in, Ty.
That's right.
It's from 1580 103.3 WPKY.
Serving Caldwell County since 1950. We're 1580 103.3 WPKY Princeton.
Fox News, I'm Chris Foster. Kentucky Governor Matt Bevin, down by around 5,000 votes, is not conceding yesterday's election to Democrat Andy Beshear. Beshear's declared victory. In Mississippi,
voters chose Lieutenant Governor Tate Reeves over Democrat Jim Hood to fill the seat of term-limited Governor Phil Bryant. Reeves thanked the voters last night